everybody, my name is Adam Countryman, and you are listening to the Countryman Sessions, a podcast for artists inside and outside ministry. Today, you're listening to episode 21. Back in my day, sing the song!
Choo, choo, choose, countryman. Choo, choo, choosing for your country. Man and woman, got a question? Just asking, long as you don't sass him. Choo, choo, choose, countryman.
Heck of a song right there, written by the one and only Dave Madden, who we are now contractually obligated to give credit to and to say just how amazingly handsome he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Landon Mills.
So today on the Countryman Sessions, we don't have a special guest, so I'm going to be kind of interviewing Adam, picking his brain about old worship music.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, it is. It should be scary.
Yeah.
Now, when I say old worship music, I don't really mean like hymns or psalms, because I don't think that in our cultural zeitgeist, old worship music really refers to that stuff anymore. For a lot of people, you know, old Hillsong, Maranatha, Passion, Chris Tomlin, stuff like that kind of has taken the space of what nostalgic worship canon, worship music really is. So I want to start today's discussion by talking about a time when I was barely alive, which is the 1990s. So 1990s in church was like a big transition period. Like a lot of churches were moving away from hymnals, away from choirs, away from organs and piano-led singing toward the whole guitar-led praise bands. And before we get into the details, Adam, I want to hear what your experience with worship music was like in the 90s.
Yeah. You mean the good old days?
Yeah, the good old days.
Yeah, this speaks to a lot of things I've been experiencing lately, which is that I'm now the old guy in the conversation, which is unfortunate. Because, I was on a church gig last weekend with a guy, and I was talking to him the whole time as if we were the same age, the guitar player. And I said something at one point that was like, you remember, Saved by the Bell? You remember? And he was like, yeah, I've heard of it. And I'm like, you didn't watch it? And he goes, no, I don't think it was on. And I'm like, what? And I was like, wait, when were you born? And he's like, 1998. And I'm like, no! I'm immediately, I'm like, oh.
He's even younger than me.
And then one of the singers was like, well, I was born in 2008. And I looked around where I was and I said, in 2008, I was literally standing in this spot. In this church, in this very spot when you were born. So anyway, that was depressing. Yeah, the 90s, man. The 90s were awesome in every way, shape, or form. If you grew up in the 90s, you are the chosen generation of all things good. And if you didn't, that's too bad because you missed it. It was so fantastic. As far as it revolved around church music, the 90s was like the coming of age time, in the Jesus people movement in the 70s, in the folk kind of thing out of Southern California had run its course, and we were moving into a lot of real great congregational singing things. We were coming off of the late 80s with the David Foster DP piano sounds, or DX. What was that model?
DX7.
DX7.
Yamaha DX7.
Yeah, on all the Chicago hits.
The Crystal Rhodes.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
So there were songs like, oh, do, 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 do. They were very militant, majestic, kind of but very hard to sing. So it swung the other way to hey, we could probably do this with 3 chords and acoustic guitar. And in the 90s, there was one big rule in worship music, and that is that everything was in E. You couldn't write a song that wasn't in E.
Really?
Yeah. If you did, you had to change it to E or capo it up so you could play the E shapes.
So it's just for the guitar players?
The 90s was when the guitar became the worship leader's main tool.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, that's when every church job description started being like, would be great if they played guitar. You know, like before that they were like, you play guitar, don't bother applying. But then like in the 90s they decided it was a really cool thing. I experienced it for the first time when I was 10 years old, which happened to be 1990. You're all welcome. And we were going to this little church, small church, probably seated 100 people in the chapel. And we had been going to this church for a little bit, and the pastor retired, and this new guy came in, and he was a kid. I mean, he was legitimately a child. Like, he was like 24, maybe 25. Yeah. He's like right out of Bible school.
Yeah.
And he was wearing a robe, and because it was a very traditional church.
Yeah.
And he put on an acoustic guitar
over his robe and led songs. Wow.
And sang from acoustic guitar. And I remember being like, whoa, this is crazy. And I was just getting into Elvis at the time, who I thought played guitar. So this was like a really interesting melding of worlds for me, you know, to be like, wait, you can play guitar in church? And it went like that. And then that church that I grew up in started slowly adding things. So like then we'd add they added a piano player. So it was the pastor in his robe playing his acoustic guitar, and now a piano player. And then it was like, let's try a keyboard.
Oh no.
With an acoustic guitar. Then it was, it'd be cool to have drums, but you couldn't have drums because it was early 90s. Like that was, you could have a djembe.
It's a sanctuary, not an auditorium.
Right. Yeah. It's not a concert.
Yeah.
What are we going to see Styx?
Yeah.
Which is the only band that we ever went to see in the Midwest. So this was also in the Midwest. So this was different. It was different across the country, but the bulk of it was happening in the Midwest was happening on acoustic guitar. And then drum machines, like literal machines, like you just pick a tempo and a pattern and hit start.
Wow.
And you could click fill 1
I
or
didn't even
fill
know about
2.
that.
Yeah, before, and it was like the size of the old Boss tuner.
Yeah.
It was like small little thing.
Like that one right there.
Smaller,
Oh, okay.
smaller than like an actual, like what we would think of as producers as a drum machine, like the Linn drum or the other ones that came after it, the 808 and things. This was like much, much smaller. Like it was like twice the size of your cell phone.
Okay.
And it had like 3 or 4 grooves.
Like the Alesis SR whatever, with the little black pads.
Yes, kind of, but no pads. Like it was crazy. Okay. I'm talking like it was so crazy. And it had a mono XLR jack that you plugged into a keyboard amp because all you had was the Roland multi-channel keyboard amp. It had like 4 channels on it. Anyway, and then eventually I started... So the way I played bass, I don't know if I've ever shared this on the podcast before, maybe not. This is how I remember it. And again, we all know how great my memory is. I'm at home, I'm 13, and I have been playing acoustic guitar at my church because you couldn't have too many acoustic guitars in the 90s either. Like if you had 4 guys who wanted to play in your band and they were all available on Sunday, June 7th, you just had all 4 of them play.
Yeah.
And some of them you'd put like a 57 up to the sound hole, and some of them you would just like plug in direct if you had a into the Roland amp, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and the keyboard player, who was the pastor's brother, showed up at my door on a Saturday, and he knocked on my door because we lived in the same neighborhood. And he was probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years younger than my parents. And he said, is Adam home? like we were going to go play. Is Adam home? And I come downstairs, and he's got a bass in his hand, like a bass in a case. And he goes, hey, I forgot the guy's name. Can't play tomorrow in church, so you're going to play bass. Not a question, right?
Oh.
He was like, so you're playing bass? And I was like, I don't think so. You are very stupid. And he was like, so let's go. And we go down to my basement where I had all the music gear set up. and he played keys, and we must have worked for, I don't know how long we were down there. It felt, in my memory, it was a really long time, where he played keys and I played bass, and he would show me like where the roots were and how to follow the lead sheet, and I just played roots, and from that moment on I played bass in church.
So that was your first time touching a bass.
I don't know if it's I guess so, because I didn't own a bass.
Huh.
And
you had played guitar.
I had played
so you
guitar.
Knew, but you probably weren't theory heavy enough to know the fretboard.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. And honestly, this is a keyboardist showing me. So wasn't even a guitar player, but he knew enough to be like, no, this is the thing. And I'm okay. So I just learned those songs.
So what's the style of the songs that you're playing?
The style was, it was very just singer-songwriter-y, almost like bone,
Yeah.
It was very simple.
Okay. So like a soft rock type thing.
Yeah, an uncomplicated, very diatonic James Taylor.
Barry Manilow Goes to Heaven type or whatever.
Kind of any.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was very fascinating. And then that church, because the pastor was a musician and his brother played, and he was a great musician. And then eventually we got a drummer, and it never went electric drums. It was like from an electric drum machine, to a drum kit, and then never electric drums. They still, to this day, this church is still around. They still would never put an electric drum kit in there because they were real musicians.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, thank you. I don't even know if we had electric drums. Well, there were the Simmons electric drums or whatever, the big pads, but
the little yellow pads on the Casio keyboard laid out like a drum kit.
Yeah, you play them when you go to Costco. But yeah, so that was how it all came about. And then the songs all started to kind of sound the same. I've got my guitar right here.
Yeah, let's get some examples.
I'll give you an example. Nolan said, bring your guitar today to this gig we're doing. And I was like, I only have one. So good thing you mentioned which one to bring. Okay, so everything sounded like this. Like for the whole service. Like all the time. So it was just, that was it. And when you changed, you only changed one note. And then when it went to 6 minor, it was a little different, but you leave the 2 open at the top. So we had songs that were, I don't know, like open the eyes of my heart, Lord, which was the same as better is one day in your course, better is one day in your house, or I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. And it was just, you could play a medley the whole time.
Yeah, and then that's you have your 4-song medley of that, and then you slow it down 10 BPM, and now you've got Shout to the Lord.
Well, yeah, well, see, okay, so moderate songs were in E, but all the slow songs were in A.
Oh,
because that's when you let the keyboardist do it, and he was like, I need a couple sharps.
Okay.
Because otherwise he's going to get bored, right? And C was not heard of for guitar players because you had to make an F, and it hurt everybody's fingers.
Yeah.
So yeah, above all was the what was it? That was above all, right? Above all powers, and that was crazy.
Yeah.
Because you were like, whoa, that's not diatonic.
That's 5/4. That's not allowed.
Yeah, that's not allowed. Above all kings, then you go shout to the Lord, all the earth, let us sing. I mean, it was all the same kind of thing. I'm coming back to the heart of. This is the air I breathe.
Yeah.
Hungry I come to you. Like, it was all in the same vein. And really, it was so easy to do medleys back then because everything sounded the same. And there weren't, like, a lot of hooks.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of worship songs just started with Let the river flow.
Yeah.
Let the river flow. So, like, if you went to church on a Sunday in the 90s, the first thing you heard was, "Good morning, church. So glad you're here today." You know, like, that was the sound of 90s church, like, at least in the Midwest.
No, I think that's pretty ubiquitous.
Yeah, I think it. I don't know what that word means, but it's
prevailing.
prevailing. Common.
Universal.
There we go. Yeah. For all of you in Orange, Texas, ubiquitous in this instance means universal.
Yeah. No, so, I mean, do you think that is a good thing? To have songs without hooks so that they can flow more easily in and out of each other. Is that something that... Because you don't really have that anymore.
I felt like it was such a great thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that because I thought we were writing songs that people could sing together in church.
Yeah.
One of my favorite groups at the time, or people that were putting out tunes, was Vineyard was huge, right? Like, it was the heyday of Vineyard. And Vineyard had hundreds and hundreds of songs. The biggest one that they had at the time was Come, now is the time to worship. And it was like, oh, wow. Somebody's listening to this right now going like, we're opening with that on Sunday. It's like, yeah, great. Go for it. You know, we had Josh Masters on last week and he was like, do the old stuff. And, it works great, right? Lord Reign in Me. I don't know if you remember that song.
Oh, yeah.
Lord, reign in me, reign in your power. They were all written on acoustic guitar. They were all meant for congregational singing. They were all in appropriate keys. But all who are thirsty, that song.
Yeah.
All who are weak, come to the fountain. Whatever the words were.
Well, and it's interesting because because they were so simple, were adaptable to any worship setting, any room size, any congregation size. You could do it campfire worship. You could do it at youth groups.
Yep.
You could, like, it worked for everything.
And you didn't need anything other than your acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
You could do them on piano.
You could do it with a full band.
Yeah.
I mean, you could.
But the 90s was the era of every youth group was like acoustic guitar and djembe.
Yeah.
And then in the 2000s, more toward the 2010s, we were like, the djembe is stupid. We're going with cajon.
Yeah.
Because it sounds more like a drum kit than
Which it doesn't,
a djembe.
But
And then you got that guy in your church like, I like that guy that plays the box.
yeah.
What? You know, he sits up there, hits his crotch all day. What's his name? You know, it's like, okay, man. You know,
So, like, before we move on to the 2000s, like, let's talk some of the non-musical but still, like, worship practices of the 90s.
Yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, that's when projected lyrics kind of became a thing, right?
yeah.
Like, they existed in bigger churches or churches with better budgets or more tech-savvy pastors, but, like, that's when it became like, okay, we have to have a projector.
You know, when our church started doing this music, it was on the overhead projector.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what it is, it's really stupid. And it's like you write on these transparencies and you put them up and then it magnifies it onto a screen. And the way you knew that you had a really good volunteer was one that would slowly move the page down, the transparency down while sliding the next one up. So it looked as if...
Like a piece of film rolling.
Yes. And if you went back to do it, you'd hear like... Because they'd have to rustle through all the papers that they had dropped and be like, oh, no. Like, you didn't have a lot of flexibility. I think what it was born of was that... in the church of hymnals, we all stood there and held a book. Then we went to a bulletin, which was a huge deal.
Yeah.
If you were a church that went from a hymnal to a bulletin, it was like, I don't like it. But we'd still put like the lead line, like the melody in there. So,
Yeah.
and that's where then that's how you did it for a while. And it was like, why not just use the hymnal? I don't get it. But there was this slow movement toward getting things out of your hands.
Yeah. So your eyes were up.
Yeah. So your eyes were up so that you were a little more connected, so that we were all looking to the same place. You weren't flipping through the prayer thing to see who had cancer or who died during the songs. Like you just were looking up or what last week's offering is. That was a huge thing too.
Really? They'd like post the numbers.
Yeah. Like, and that still happens at a ton of churches. Like they're like, last week's giving was this. And you're like, whew, we are not doing great. We
got to do some more healings or something up in here.
Yeah. Better have a revival. I don't know why they all sound like that in my mind. Like I was from Missouri. Like nobody sounded like that.
So, do you think with the projectors, because switching from, eventually you switch from overhead to like
to an actual projector
or a TV
and PowerPoint. No, we didn't ever go to a TV.
Yeah, but some churches
may have.
But do you think that there's something that you lose in sort of the community participation when you move from an actual person doing the overhead to ProPresenter or PowerPoint?
I don't think so, because it was still just the one person.
That's true.
Operating it. I think what we lost, the argument that I think does hold some water, is like we've lost the sense of musicality because we took the notes away. We took musical notes away from people, and we said, here's the thing. So even if you didn't read music, you could see that note went up.
Yeah.
And you could see that went down. And then you could be like, that next note doesn't come for another one of these boxes. So that must mean that we wait.
Well, and you could, a lot of people would be able to tell with the whole 4-part harmonies in the hymnals, like, I'm a man, I have a low speaking voice. I do the bottom one.
Right.
I'm a woman, I have a high speaking voice. I'll do the top one. And you just follow that.
I think the church just went, nobody's doing this anymore. And nobody's reading music much anymore. And these books are heavy.
And expensive to replace.
And I just don't think that this is going to be around. And I think they saw the writing on the wall and they just leaned into it. Right, wrong, indifferent. I don't know that it matters. The culture shifted and the church went with it.
Yeah.
And so now we're all looking at a screen, typically one screen. This idea of 2 screens or 3 screens was like unheard of at the time. A lot of times it was a screen that you like brought out on the stand and like lifted up like a school, and it was never high tech ever. And it was typically like a cluster set of like 2 or 3 speakers that were usually made by Klipsch or PV. And a powered mixer somewhere that you ran the cord all the way from wherever it was to the next thing.
Yeah.
And that's just what you did.
Because you probably didn't even have a snake back then.
No, and if you did, like you were like pretty high. You were the slick church.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you guys, you put your sound guy in the back.
But again, I wasn't there, but correct me if I'm wrong. Like, it still sounded good.
It still sounded great. And part of that was because you were playing music that was suited to the space and to that time. So you weren't trying to you didn't have like kick drum through the sound system at most of these places,
So you're kind of mixing to how loud the drummer is.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
You're only putting through that cluster of speakers like mostly vocals and maybe some acoustic guitar, but a big thing in the 90s was acoustic guitar amps.
Oh yeah.
Like
the Fender, the brown one.
Yeah, the Acoustophonics. That one came out later. These were mostly Trace Elliott and Crate.
Yeah.
Crate had like the flagship like one that everybody had.
Wow.
So, and they had them in different sizes. So if your church was over 1,000, you'd get the bigger crate amp. That wasn't a thing, but that's how I viewed it. But yeah, everything was amps. As a bass player, I don't think I plugged into a sound system until 2001.
Yeah.
2002, maybe. It was all just out of an amp before that.
So what carried over from that, and what do you think died off from the 90s into the 2000s? I have theories, but I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, what died off? I mean, we started caring more about how good things sounded, and we tried to make it, we tried to enhance the technical aspects. So like, also back then, any lighting you had was like really hot, like in terms of its temperature that it caused. And you had to have like big dimmer racks and all this stuff. So like a lot of churches didn't do that. And if they did, they had like big auditoriums that required that kind of lighting. But it took a lot. So lighting shifted a lot in the 2000s. Audio shifted to being a lot more oriented toward individual mixes.
Yeah.
Because back in the 90s too, it was like, we have 2 monitor sends. and you shared
and we might even have 2 monitors.
Yeah, and you didn't like ever get your own mix.
Yeah.
Ever. Like it was never an option for you to have your own monitor mix. That's crazy. Nobody was on in-ears.
Yeah.
So in the 2000s, you had some movement toward in-ears. I think I got my first set of in-ears, which was the Shure PSM 600 something. It was wired, not wireless, and it had the first set of in-ears, and they were beige, like flesh colored, and we had those, and those came out. I think that was like 03 or something when I got my first set, and I was like, this is pretty sweet. I am killing it.
Did anything carry over from the 90s with like the planning of a service or the flow? Or was it pretty like slapped together?
No, I think it depends. That really was specific to the church.
Yeah.
But I think that it was pretty similar. As we moved more into the 2000s, we got more generalized. So like instead of like mentioning Betty's gout in the prayers, you would start to say all those who are sick, or whatever.
The prayers of the church became a little more.
They became a little
vague.
more general. Yeah, if I was going that way, but a lot of that was determined by the size of the congregation you were in.
Yeah.
And you could still go to a church today that prays for everybody by name. I think there started to be more music toward the end of the 90s than there was before.
Like 5 songs instead of 2 or 3.
Yeah. And honestly, if you go back to what drove that a lot, I think was in a traditional church, there might be 5 or 6 hymns in a service. And so it wasn't unheard of, but pastors started preaching longer.
Oh no.
So as pastors changed and it became acceptable and encouraged and sought after to have these guys preaching 20 minutes. Oh. Like you were like, oh, we're going to have to cut a song, so.
Guess I better go buy that TiVo.
Yeah, that started happening though. And to this day, like if I'm at a church and the pastor preaches 15 minutes, I'm taken way off guard. I'm like, whoa, that is shockingly fast.
Yeah.
In the day and age where the average is 30 and a lot of churches are going 40.
Yeah.
And not that that's bad at all, but it's just you change how you program and how you plan. We seem to be a little more, and this is just anecdotal, I think we were a little more conscious of keys back then. Like it was really important for the first 2 songs to be in the same key.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but we thought it was.
Well, because when you don't, like, I feel like now church congregations, a lot of them will like clap at the end of a song.
Yeah.
So they'll sort of build in a transitional
right.
moment for the band, which I doubt existed in the 90s. Like, no one's going to clap because performance, it's still kind of a dirty word, but it was really a dirty word back then.
It was really a dirty word back then.
And so no one's going to clap. Like, these guys are, they're doing worship. This is not a concert. And so you have to be, and especially if you don't have a sound system or tracks or a keyboard player that understands pads, like you have to really nail your transitions, which is so much easier if songs are in the same key.
It was, and a lot of times we'd use, the drums would start, for the next whatever. It was an interesting thing too, because all the keys, range was a really big deal.
Yeah. Like
we would talk a lot about and people would say like, nobody can sing that. Now it's like, nobody can, forget it. Like, well, we're still going to do it, because the key of E and D were perfect keys. D especially, E because it was easy on guitar. So you could make a bigger sound playing an E if you were an acoustic guitar player than you could D. So it was like, let's do it in E if we can.
Yeah. Because that fifth scale degree up to the octave is really in the male power register.
Yeah. And for most men.
Yeah.
You were hitting the most people. So D and E were great because females could sing it up an octave from where you were, but it wasn't too terribly high. And then in the 2000s, it started to shift where the ladies' songs that you would do started to get a little, and maybe that was part of it too. There was, I feel like more music was led by men in the 90s. And then in the 2000s, it started becoming very female-led. And I could be wrong on that, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Or we started doing more female-led songs.
Yeah.
Because when Hillsong came about and like Darlene Check was like the it girl.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing now.
Well, everybody, we're going to get to the 2000s in just a moment, but we're going to take a quick break. Hey there, boys and girls, it's your mate Mensch Lou again, and today I am running the first ever reverse telethon. What's a reverse telethon, you may ask? Now, normally, a telethon, you'd have people call in pledging donations to a worthy cause, feeding my starving children, whatever. Today, I'm calling them. I'm calling you, the people, to try and get your financial support to get us out of the hot water in which we find ourselves paddling. We are up a proverbial creek without an oar, and I will be calling you, our beloved listeners, today to try and achieve financial support as a contingency plan. If you were listening last week, we have been sued by one David Madden over the usage of our beloved theme song, Choo Choo Choo's Countrymen. If we cannot get enough Patreon subscribers to meet Mr. Madden's demands, we will be legally responsible for filling an empty sack with a $sign upon it with $5,000. So here I go, straight to the phones. We're going to call our first number. Hello, my name is Lou Lowenstein, and I represent the Countryman Sessions. And also with you. On to the next number. Let's see. Carry the 2.
Hello?
Hello. My name is Lou Lowenstein. I represent the Countryman Sessions.
Okay.
Of which I am sure you are an avid listener. How are you this fine morning?
What is a session?
Sir or madam, I would just like to ask you today
It's sir.
Oh, okay, sir.
Thank you.
I would like to ask you today if you would be willing to donate any amount of generous contribution toward the current litigation in which we find ourselves.
Is this about the taxes?
Oh, God forbid. No, this is about Dave Madden suing countrymen over the usage of our beloved theme song.
Do you take Apple Pay?
Give me 5 minutes. We can work it out. How much are you willing to contribute?
Let me see here. If I go down and I'll look in my pocket and I'll see if I have a calculator down there. Four.
For what?
Four times. I'll donate 4 times, okay?
I'll take it. Thank you for supporting the Countryman Sessions represented by Lulu and Steve.
Cliven!
I'm sick of having to use social media. That's the thing that I hate. I hate that I have this pressure that I have to use it. And people are like, well, I didn't say anything about the show. Well, maybe if you would just listen when I talk to you, out of my mouth. Just words. But no, it has to be online if it has any validity at all. It's like a diary of things that you're doing something. Oh, look at me, I went here. Oh, great. Whoa, look at me. I'm so special. I played 4 shows this week. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you're eating or how cool your dish looked or the presentation. Nobody wants to listen to your new song or that your niece can sing. Okay, we went from keeping in touch with family members who we care and love about to just totally complaining about the president or the politicians around us or the guy who cut us off on the freeway. We would never say the things that we say online to somebody's face. We just wouldn't do it. And I think we should, as a society, agree we're getting rid of social media. The social media experience has been a social disaster. Shame on us. Let's all agree as a people, no more social media. On another note, please follow us on all of our social media platforms, Instagram, and all the same things. And don't forget to go to patreon.com/The Countryman Sessions. Funnily enough.
Yeah.
Is funnily a word? It's not. Funner enough. Funny enough. I had those in-ears, and when I was living in Boston, we played some gig on a party boat off the harbor, and when you were loading on to the boat, it was like a single, like the ramp was as wide as your cart.
Oh yeah, like a big plank.
Yeah,
a gang plank.
Yes, yeah. So coming off after the gig and having had a couple more than 2 drinks, my cart kind of got away from me, and it was like, oh no, because the cart is full of all your gear, right?
It's going in the water.
And it's tipping. And so you're like, no. So I grabbed the cart like a bear hug, and I'm coming down off the thing. But sitting on the very top of all the gear on the cart was my box with my in-ears in it, with the pack and everything. And it just falls into the harbor. And I'm like, that sucks so bad, because back then, like, that pack was like $1,000 or something. Like, it was crazy expensive. But it was floating because it was styrofoam, it was foam. And it was closed and it was floating. And I'm like, oh. So I start taking off my shoes to jump in and get it. And the harbor master guy, the boat captain or whoever it was that was standing there, was like, do not go in that water. And I was like, why? He's like, you will get so sick. Yeah. He's like, that is gone. And I was like, no, but and he goes, let me get a hook.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So he grabs a hook. It's like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It's pitch dark out, So I take this hook and I'm like trying to hook through the handle of the sure thing, and I hit the top before I do it. And it pops open and water rushes in right to the thing. And I'm like, no. So he then is like, let me get the net. And I'm like, why are you getting net to begin with? So he gets a net. We pull it out. It's soaking wet, right? So I take it all apart. I'm like, listen, and it reeks. Like, I'm like, if this is what I would have smelled like coming out of this harbor, thank God I didn't jump in.
Yeah.
I don't think you can wash it off. For days, I leave it out there. So then I try to use it again at the next gig, and it works.
Wow.
And I am like, Shure is the greatest company that's ever existed. It worked for probably 2 or 3 more gigs.
Oh, okay.
And then It was funny because when it went out, we were playing some frat house thing or something, and it slowly went out. And it almost, I felt like I could hear the ocean as it was going out. It was like, you're playing, and it's like, yeah, and then it was like, I'm like, I don't think it's gonna make it. It's done, man. That was it. But hey, that's my in-ears.
That's beautiful.
My first set of in-ears. Yeah, it was great.
Well, hey, we're back doing a recap of older worship styles, decade by decade. Now we're into the 2000s.
Let's go.
The era of arena worship.
The era of Chris Tomlin.
Yes. Chris Tomlin. Really when Hillsong became a household name. Tell us about your experience in the 2000s.
Well, to me, the 90s was exemplified by Paul Baloche and Vineyard, and the 90s was Chris Tomlin and Hillsong.
The 2000s was...
Sorry, yeah, the 2000s was Chris Tomlin and Hillsong. The 90s was Paul Baloche and whatever I said before. Anyway, the Chris Tomlin stuff was really interesting because it was the first time that the women were expected to sing in the male register. Like, you couldn't sing... The ladies couldn't sing an octave above Chris Tomlin. So it was the first time that when you were like, we're going to do How Great Is Our God, original key, D flat.
Yeah.
And you went, we're going to do it in A. And it was the first time I remember going like, we're changing every key. I don't think we played a song in the original recorded key outside of like Lead Me to the Cross.
Yeah.
Or some of the female-led Hillsong stuff. I don't think we played it in the original key at all, like until later on when it started just becoming really acceptable to do so. Jeremy Camp came on the scene, and he was like more of the rock thing, and he was kind of the worship answer to like what was happening with Switchfoot.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we can use distortion now.
Yeah.
And as per our usual arrangement, the worship music industry was always 10 years behind. So Switchfoot became popular with The Beautiful Letdown, which was an incredible album. And worship music started going like, hey, we could do that. Like we can have distortion, and we can have reverb, and we can have all these things.
Yeah.
And so it started becoming way more produced, to your point of like, the mega church stadium rock thing. They started really doing that. David Crowder showed up. And he was like the dirty looking bearded guy that played like the stuff that was like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
If you liked him. If you liked Tomlin, you were like mainstream. But if you were in the Crowder camp, you were like, no, man, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Similar thing to like Michael Gunger's stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gunger was like the Rush of, it was
he was a secret handshake among music.
Yeah. It was like,
lovers.
You're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Your church was like downtown if you were playing Gunger. Like you weren't playing Gunger in the suburbs, man. Like it's way too cool out here.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting. But we saw, churches starting to come out with their own music labels at the time. I forget the name of the church from Colorado that was...
Red Rocks?
No, it wasn't Red Rocks.
Flatirons?
Nope.
Cherry Hills?
Nope. You're in like the 2010s.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
But this was like, anyway, it was Ted Haggard's church.
Oh, I don't know.
He was, disgraced pastor guy. But anyway, they were coming out with tons of stuff. Glenn Packiam came out of there, and a bunch of other writers. John Egan, the guy who wrote I Am Free.
Yeah.
And so they all came out of there, and that became huge. Lakewood here in Houston started putting out their own music and got Israel Houghton into the thing. Matt Redman started coming out with songs like Heart of Worship in the I think that might have been the 90s.
That was later 90s,
yeah.
I think.
But then he came out with an album, I forget the name of it, but it was good. Maybe it was the 2000s when Redman really became kind of the thing. I don't know. We'd have to Google when that all happened, but too bad we don't have computers.
Yeah.
But it really was like run the 2000s was really run by Chris Tomlin. Like he was the it.
Yeah.
You know, everything he put out was like, that's what you should be doing at your church.
Well, and it was the stuff he was putting out was, in my opinion, better songwriting. Just from a pure like songwriting craft standpoint,
Compared to what?
Compared to what was coming out in the 90s.
Oh,
like you said, there were no real hooks in the 90s. Chris Tomlin didn't necessarily have like a ton of musical hooks, but in terms of understanding, this is what a verse should feel like. This is what a chorus should feel like. This is the function of a bridge. Like his stuff felt more like music as it's understood from a secular point of view than like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he made worship music. He brought a lot of the tenets of secular music into worship.
At least with the songwriting.
Yeah.
Like
and Jesse Reeves, who co-wrote a ton of that stuff and played on all of it, you know, I think he did a lot for that too. It was like the instrumental hooks that he came up with and things. But Tomlin, you know, you even take a song like "How Great Is Our God." That is an acoustic guitar hook at the top.
Yeah,
it's not just strumming this open E. And I would say, yeah, I thought the writing was good. The song structures got a little more defined.
Yes.
And you could still make great medleys out of them, but I love a good medley. So
you didn't bring them up, but I thought we would be remiss if we didn't talk briefly about Casting Crowns.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, would you consider Casting Crowns worship music?
No.
Okay.
A lot of people do. I don't. I don't think it's easy to sing along with. I don't think it's very congregational. I think they make great feature songs.
Yeah.
The thing that killed me about Casting Crowns was that they they this isn't so much a rant as it is. Yeah, okay, maybe it's a little bit of a rant, but I despise the Creed thing.
Yeah.
The Scott Stapp.
Not to be confused with "I Believe in God."
No,
Father
not
Almighty.
like not a profession of faith, but this fake voice that somehow Eddie Vedder started, and it was like cool.
Yeah.
Because he's Eddie Vedder, and they were Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
And they could do whatever they want. And then everybody's like, maybe if I start to sing like this and put my jaw out far. And then Jeremy Camp was like, I could do it too. And Third Day came out, and then they were like, you know, your love. And then Jeremy Camp came out, and he started doing it like, beautiful one I love. And I despised it so much that when Casting Crowns came out, I loved their lady singers, their female singers. Oh, what are you, a lady singer? Sorry, that sounded weird. So I enjoyed the songwriting because it reminded me a lot of like Amy Grant. I was a huge Michael W. Smith fan. I loved all of his stuff. As old and as cheesy as some of the production was, I thought it was great music. Like his writing, and I thought, man, Casting Crowns is they're doing that thing, but like, who am I? Like it's I,
Yeah.
it's I. It's not, and I just don't. I can't, and it's because they don't talk like that.
Yeah.
So you're turning it on.
Yeah. It's like
to intentionally sing like that.
It's the worship equivalent of like modern country singers with a affected twang.
Yeah, which is why, by the way, I think Brad Paisley deserves the only country worth listening to award in today's genres.
Because he talks the way he sings.
Yeah, it's like, oh, finally, a normal person who doesn't think that they have to placate to me. Thank you, Brad Paisley. Oh, and I like to laugh.
Nary a snap track to be found.
Also, you want some of the best hymnody and hymn reworks? Brad Paisley's your guy.
Yeah.
I love that there's like a hymn on those records. I think he stopped doing it, but I'm like, why'd you stop doing it? That was great.
We may start a petition.
Yeah, man. His version of What a Friend We Have in Jesus and When I Get Where I'm Going is a great song. Him and Dolly. Anyway, we're off topic.
We are off topic. So like, let's talk about some of the songs from the 2000s.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So you have How Great Is Our God, which you talked about already.
Yeah.
Here I Am to Worship.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get the guitar out again.
Yeah, let me grab my guitar.
What's the big shift musically?
Oh, man.
We're not in E and A.
No, we're not in E at all anymore. Like, it was almost like it was outlawed.
Yeah.
They were like, don't you dare play an E. So everything was like C shapes now. So it was like... And that was a great hook, man.
Yeah.
That was great. And then we went to like eighth note based kind of stuff. So like... Blessed be your name in a land that is plentiful. And a lot of that was like Lincoln Brewster, Matt Redman.
Yeah.
And they would start doing things like straight will rise as we wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. We will wait. And it was like, this is it, really?
Yeah.
But then they got to then there was like a really defined pre-chorus. Our God. And this is where the pre-chorus came in big, because in the 90s it was mostly like verse, chorus, sometimes a bridge.
Yeah. Back
to verse, chorus. But the defining moment of Everlasting God, which is the song we're talking about right now, was the pre-chorus. The Our God, you reign forever. And it was like, oh yeah, that's hot. And then it would go back to you are the, and I'm in B. Like it was like anti-guitar, acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
They were like, forget you acoustic guitar players.
It's all about electric now.
Yeah, we're playing electric guitar and we don't even need capos.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of this like, but in tune.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, I don't know why this guitar is not in tune.
This is great radio.
This is great radio.
No, there's a lot of that rock stuff that was coming through in the 2000s, and the syncopations, especially in the pre-choruses.
Yeah,
it's like
that was big.
If you change the drum groove, that pre-chorus could have been Toto.
Yeah.
Like
it was a lot of that.
It's really cool, and even some of the more down-tempo songs were starting to change, like From the Inside Out. I feel like it shifted from more of a folksy thing into like, we know how to do power ballads now.
Yeah, it was From the Inside Out was the I'm caught in your embrace everlasting. Yeah, I mean it's just, you're right. It's a better song.
It's a better song. The songwriting improved, and we understood how to move people even in a slow song.
Yeah.
Rather than like, this Zen trance type thing. I probably shouldn't say it like that. Rather than this trance thing.
No, I get what you're saying. But because even the guys like Paul Baloche, who were doing this whole thing, their songs in the 2000s switched to like, because of your love, we're forgiven.
Yeah.
And Crowder was doing the everything glorious. And it was like, oh, that's fun to play. And it's cool. And he's got a beard.
Yeah.
So,
You had like Hosanna.
Uh-huh.
Came out, yeah, like serious power ballad type thing.
Yeah, Hosanna was great. Forever Rain.
Yeah.
That came out then. So the faster songs were better.
Yeah.
And the slower songs were like more powerful.
Yeah. And I think that sort of, that starts to really begin the shift toward what modern worship music sounds like. Because
Yeah.
the biggest difference between 90s and now, in my opinion, is one, like maturity of style. So like the genre was brand new.
Yeah, that's true.
But also just like the craft of writing a song and arranging a song and performing a song was not, it was secondary. Like music was sort of like a novelty, and now it's like a vehicle for part of the worship service. So it's just, it's matured a lot.
I think that it was just the importance that was placed on the overall quality.
Yeah.
You know, there weren't a lot of like in the 80s, like there wasn't like a full-time worship leader.
Yeah.
Like you had ministers of music that were directing the choir, putting together the orchestra, managing the budget, playing the organ, leading the prayers, you know, all the things. And then you might have that one service that had like the youth guy with an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And he would be up there like, Lord, I lift your name on high.
I was hoping we weren't going to get to that one.
You know? Or he'd be going, every move I make in you. But I'm playing better than he ever could hope to, you know? And it wasn't his fault. He's not a guitar player.
Well, because in the 80s and even in the 90s, you could still make a living as a good guitar player.
Right.
And I think that's such a big part of this is that people who had spent the time, effort, and money to hone their craft as a musician or as a songwriter, they had full-time jobs doing that.
Yeah.
And really, for the church, as that has gone away over time, it's kind of a blessing because there's a lot more of those people that would have been eaten up into the music industry machine in the 80s and 90s that are now available to do those jobs full-time in ministry.
Yeah, you're right. Because you couldn't do songs when they were coming out like Israel Houghton tunes. She didn't have the guitar players to pull them off.
Yeah, or the drummers.
Or the drummers or anybody else. Yeah, I mean, and that is part of it. And there's something about I don't know if it's I don't know. I'm not saying that it's even good. I don't know that it's a good thing. There was so much of the 90s that was so great because it was so accessible. Like you could show up at a camp or at a big church or at a small church and you were playing. You know, I mean, it was so accessible. It was so much easier.
Yeah.
Now, and then in the 2000s, right, we started having the hooks, which were very definable, and even into the 2010s. Now, the hooks are so ambiguous and affected with 96 tracks of layering that all the songs start to sound the same. Like we've gone too far, in my opinion. We do some of these. Sometimes you go to like a night of worship or a worship concert, and you're like, oh, "I love this song." We do it sometimes on stage too, and I don't write me an email and tell me that that's stupid that this doesn't happen because I know it happens. I know that some of you have started "Battle Belongs" but played the hook to "This Is Our God," or played "Lion and the Lamb" but you played the hook from "Battle Belongs." Like it happens all the time, and it's because they're so similar. Because we're now getting songs and we're programming them in terms of the slot for the tempo and the vibe of that section of service.
Yeah.
As opposed to like because of what the song says or because of the song's integrity. And we're doing everything just high.
Yeah.
Which I like because I like to sing high.
It keeps you awake.
Keeps me awake, yeah.
Well, the other thing I think that started in the 2000s that has really carried over is the bridge.
Yeah, the bridge.
Like the bridge is really, to me, like the defining characteristic of worship music now, because bridges are gone from pop music.
Yeah.
And they have not left. If anything, they are as strong as ever in worship music. But there were bridges and songs in the 90s, but it became more of a thing in the 2000s.
I have something to say about bridges.
Please.
I'm being 100% non-sarcastic. There was a time when the bridge did something. Like, it existed for a reason. Lyrically, it bridged the premise you set up to the resolution of the song.
Yeah.
Musically, it allowed you to take a section of that song and do something different to lead you to wherever you were going next. Thus, the actual bridge effect of the bridge. Worship music has ruined wholeheartedly the idea of what a bridge should be, and we know this is true because we see it in our use of multi-tracks and ProPresenter and lyric sheets and things when they don't know what to call it. They're like, bridge 1. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as bridge 2. There's not. We made that up.
Yeah.
Because we're like, it's the second bridge. I don't know any other style of music, and I'm being 100% honest, and forgive me. I don't think this is hyperbolic. Maybe it is. But I don't know another type of music where there's bridge 2, bridge 3, bridge 4? 4 bridges?
Yeah.
So it's just all bridges? No, those are verses. It's too much. And it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand. Like, I know this makes me sound old and out of touch and stupid and non-emo and all those things. But if you've got that much material, that's 2 songs.
Or 3.
Just make them 2 songs.
Well, and if you look at the way that songs have been structured since music has been written down, there is an A section, a B section, and a C section. There's no D section.
Sometimes there's a C section. Sometimes there's just A section and B section. Some of the greatest hymns are just A.
Yeah.
But yes, your point is taken.
Generally, the forms, even in classical music, in jazz music, in pop music since 1900, there is never a D section.
Right.
And it's if you look at most of the bridge 2, bridge 3, bridge 4, they're just the same line repeated over and over. And repetition is a good thing, I think, especially in congregational singing. Repetition is valuable. It allows people to learn the music in real time. It allows people to latch on to the meaning of the words better. It's sort of like a mantra. But if you would just take the line that was repeated 12 times and do it once, and then take that line from bridge 2, and then take that line from bridge 3, and then have them one after the next, and repeat that, you now have one bridge, and it accomplishes the same lyrical effect of linking the idea that you set up in the B section to the end of the song.
Yes.
And it's an issue of, I think, lazy and or uneducated songwriting that is sad, because the A and B sections of some of these songs that come out now are so good. And you get to minute 7,
right? Bridge 3.
Yeah, and you're like it's sickeningly sweet.
Yeah,
is the only way I can describe it.
There's a song called "The Joy" that is being done. It's out by the Belonging Co.
Yeah,
right. It's the first time that I've heard a bridge in a modern worship piece of music in a long time where I was like, oh, this bridge is great.
Yeah.
I love this bridge. The same thing with I think Firm Foundation, He Won't, has a great bridge.
Yeah.
The form of that song is all over the map, though.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really feel like a bridge. It feels like just the next part.
Yeah.
But it says something else. Because the initial lyric is, this is what I believe. This is who I believe in. And then it's, this is what happens when trials and tribulations come, but I still put my faith in this. This is who I believe in. And then we reiterate the sentiment from the old hymn, Christ is my firm foundation, from the Bible.
Yeah.
But also paraphrasing the solid rock. And so I think there are moments in modern, quote, modern worship music where that is super great. But then there are other moments where it is just like ad nauseum. It's as if someone told you had to have many bridges.
You have to make this song
9 minutes.
Yeah, and you can't only sing these 2 sections.
You know what? Maybe it used to be. And maybe this is where it's different. Because I think in the 90s and 2000s, like, we had songs in a live worship setting that went 9 minutes. But I think they were organically happening that way. And I think now we're manufacturing organic worship moments.
Yeah.
And we're saying, because there's this whole importance and movement now on like spontaneity.
Free worship.
Yeah, whatever you call it. But
Yeah.
it's like, that's all manufactured. And so we get into this now, and whereas in the 90s or 2000s, like, we're like, hey, let's pray at the end, and then maybe we'll go back into that chorus, man. You know, who knows? Let's see. Or maybe we'll throw How He Loves into How Great Is Our God. Is a great sentiment, same key. This would be really good. But now we go, no, if we don't have spontaneity, if we don't have many bridges, we're not actually worshiping. And I think that's where we've lost the thread.
Yeah. Well, on that bombshell, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back with the 2010s. And we're back to our regularly scheduled reverse telethon. If you forgot, I am Lou Lowenstein, and I'm really just trying to throw a lifeline to Adam. He's a good kid, but he needs work. Here we go. On to our next caller. Let's see, where's the number? 379 Charlie. Okay, there we go.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, hello. My name is Lou Lowenstein. I represent the Countryman Sessions
Can
podcast.
you speak up? I don't have my glasses
My
on.
name is Lou Lowenstein. I represent the Countryman Sessions podcast, of which I'm sure you're an avid listener. Today, I am humbly asking your financial contribution
Let
to
me
get
stop you right there. I have the gout, and I have to be to the pharmacy in 4 minutes. Get to the point.
But we just need your financial contribution to get us out of legal trouble.
How much?
How much can you give?
Oh! You don't even know!
We need $5,000.
Oh, for crying out loud. I'll find my purse. Somebody, Charlie, get my checkbook! Where do I mail the check to?
Care of whatever garage or home studio we record in.
All right, fine. I have to go to the pharmacy because I have the hemorrhoids. But when I get back, I will write a check and mail it out to you.
For how much?
How much is left in the checkbook? $12. Does that help you?
Thank you very much, sir or madam.
Warm up the car. I'm an old woman.
We will take your generous donation. Thank you very much. For those of you who are tuning in over audio and cannot see my thermometer diagram that I am slowly filling with a red expo marker, we are currently sitting at $27 and some change. So, I would say call in, but I'm calling you. So next person, just help me out. Like, this is a really difficult position. All right, let me find this next number here. I can't read this chicken scratch. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, my name is Lou Lowenstein. I represent the Countryman Sessions podcast, of which I am sure you are an avid listener.
Why now? What it about?
We need your help. We need financial support. We are currently in an ongoing legal battle with David Madden, the famous songwriter and all-around handsome guy, over the usage of our beloved theme song.
Is it good?
I think you won't find a better song.
All right, go on.
So we need your help. Otherwise, we will not be able to continue to use this theme song. So we need $5,000.
This podcast, is it on Alta Vista?
On what?
I have Alta Vista.
We'll get it there. Whatever. Can you send any money?
I mean, I could. How, like $20?
We'll take it. You could spare $20.
One time, I ain't gonna go no subscription or something. But I do 20. I could do 20.
Thank you.
It's like how much I spend that on pumpkin pie.
On pumpkin pie.
You ain't had no pumpkin pie.
Not $20 pumpkin pie.
No, it's multiple pies. It's mini pie.
Are you making these?
No, I ain't making them.
Oh,
What, I look like Chef Boyardee?
I don't know what you look like. We're on the phone, sir.
Whatever. $20. You put me down for a 20.
Okay, thank you so much for your generous
All right, get
contribution.
on my phone.
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I am in the trenches here. I'm going to keep calling every single person. Please, anything helps. We need to achieve this $5,000 contingency goal, or you really need to get on patreon.com/The Countryman Sessions. Oh, otherwise my ass is grass and Dave's the lawnmower. See ya. Well, wasn't that fun? And we're back.
It was fun.
Yes.
It was great.
Now we're moving from the 2000s into the time when I really started worship leading.
Yeah, you did.
My wheelhouse, the 2010s. It's a lot of stuff changing, really driven by technology. It's the age where streaming started to become a thing. It's the age where music videos kind of started to become a thing with worship
Again?
music.
Oh, with worship music, yeah.
Yeah. You have your church as almost like a label, like a brand,
Yeah.
started becoming a thing. And
I'd like to just say that much like MTV ruined music in the 80s, I believe that YouTube has ruined worship in the 2010s.
wow,
Yeah.
that's a bold claim, but I don't disagree.
It is the worst. It is absolutely terrible. You're all welcome.
So some of the
Well, I
key,
need to make a video. No, you don't. Stop making videos. But how will they see me singing it? Who gives a crap? Anyway, sorry.
2010s, incidentally, was the period in which Adam died inside.
Yeah, well, it was the final nail,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
With the exception of Lauren Daigle, I will watch her on video all day. Because she is amazing, incredible, and easy to watch. Thank you, Lauren, for being a real musician. Probably because she's from New Orleans. So it's in her blood. And she is amazing. And how dare you say anything against her?
Beautiful.
A little too much like Adele. She's the Christian Adele. But other than, I love Adele, though. So
Yeah.
I'm down. All right, I've derailed you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
only a little. Some of the key shifts, you have the big household names like Bethel, Elevation,
Yeah.
Hillsong Young and Free,
Yeah.
Jesus Culture becoming very influential.
Yeah.
you know-
Ironically, I like their stuff better in the 2000s than the 2010s when they got real big. But
Neither here nor
yeah.
there. The biggest thing I think is that production value becomes central.
Yeah.
Even more important than songwriting, even more important than musicianship in some ways. You have the introduction of tracks, pads or latch pads. You have live looping with Ableton and multi-tracks playback. All those different technologies that start to get implemented in the mid 2010s is when that becomes more of a thing. But
Yeah.
it becomes more of like a cinematic and atmospheric push.
It's a great way to put it.
What was your experience in the 2010s like, Adam?
In the 2010s, it was like the heyday, big church, big sound, big screens, big lights. Like for me anyway, it felt like that was like when all that stuff became super important.
Yeah.
We saw some technology shifts that were really helpful, and we overdid them.
What's an example of how we've overdone a helpful technology?
Well, like I think for a lot of our churches, like, do we need 22 light scenes? Like, do the moving heads need to move for effect, or can they just move for functionality and programming? I'm not saying they're bad. I just am like, maybe we made the thing really hard.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to. A great example of this, like, what does it feel like when the power goes out? Like if you're on stage doing church and the power goes out, like, is your service ruined, or can you just pick up where you left off and finish out the day and have a great time? Yeah, it's a little much, you know. I'm not against it. I think it serves a great purpose. Just saying, we walk a really fine line, and in the 2010s, we forgot that line ever existed.
Yeah.
We were just like, let's do it. Everybody was using haze.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a light. You know, we saw the development of like more common use of individualized personal mixers and digital soundboards and queuing up and syncing with video content, or using LED screens as opposed to projectors and all of that. And that really came into play. And so while all that was good, we did go through some periods, and that was my period of just like overindulgence.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, well, we can, so we will.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where that was for me. I think we saw that happen musically to a certain degree, although the worship houses, like the big box houses, if we refer to them that way, it's like Hillsong, Elevation, Bethel, they really started dominating the culture. So we saw Chris Tomlin kind of go away.
Yeah.
It became these collectives of things. So it was like, and there was all this peer pressure started in the 2010s. It probably existed before that. Maybe I just didn't realize it, but it's like, what do you mean you're not doing that song? You haven't done the song yet? How have you not done the song? And this is where I think also YouTube and influencers have had a good side that has also been a downside.
Yeah.
There's all this pressure. That video, I Know a Name, had over 4 million views.
Yeah.
How are you not doing it on Easter? I don't like it. That's how I'm not doing it.
I mean, you had some of that with Maranatha.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but it's definitely a thing. And you also get peer pressure from the other end of it. People that find, certain big box houses to be, heretical or antithetical to the heart of worship or whatever. They'll say, I know of churches, I have done gigs at churches that will say, you can't do anything that was written by Bethel.
Right, yeah.
And, I mean, that takes a huge chunk out of the standard,
Sure.
out of the canon.
Out of the playbook.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's half of our...
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're at a church that's like, we will not do this, then yeah, that's a big deal. Same thing with Elevation.
Yep.
Same thing with Hillsong. Same thing if you were like, if anybody ever is like, we're not doing any Phil Wickham, then I guess we're just not doing fast songs.
Yeah.
Like and it's a joke, but it's not that far off of a joke.
Yeah.
Like that Phil Wickham's the only guy writing fast songs. Then we get we won't get into that because that's further down the road. But the 2010s gave us some really great music. They gave us songs like 10,000 Reasons.
Yeah.
And Lord, I Need You. This I Believe. This Is Amazing Grace came on the scene in the 2010s. So Phil Wickham started showing up. So
Yeah.
if the 2010s and beyond could be identified by a guy, it would be Phil Wickham. So like you had Paul Baloche in the 90s, Chris Tomlin in the 2000s. Now here comes Phil Wickham in 2010. And in the 2020s, we've got Brandon Lake.
Yeah.
So it's like there's always like a king.
A figurehead.
Yeah, there's always a figurehead. There's always like a guy doing the thing. And it ebbs and flows throughout the years of those decades, but it's always really interesting to me to see who wins out. Tomlin didn't go away, obviously. Whom Shall I Fear came out in the 2010s. At the Cross, Love Ran Red came out in the 2010s.
Yeah. Noel.
Yeah.
One of the best.
What year did In Christ Alone come out?
That's a great question. I would guess 08 or something.
Let's see. Okay, yeah. It was 01.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so never mind. Yeah, that's crazy. So a lot of these songs, were exceptional. Now, Lord, I Need You, great song.
Yeah.
Perfect example of a useless bridge. Like there's songs where we're like, we're not going to do the bridge.
Yeah.
And like that is most of Mav City nowadays and Lord, I Need You.
Yeah.
Like why is this in here?
But you also had, you had some great sort of, I feel like the 2010s is the era of the mid-tempo song.
Yeah.
They start bringing back some 6/8 stuff. You got Reckless Love.
Yeah.
For
Reckless
example.
Love, yeah.
But a lot of really cool.
Great Are You, Lord.
Great Are You, Lord's amazing. Timeless. Goodness of God.
Yeah, and I think if I had to pick like the most effective worship song in my lifetime so far, I think Goodness of God is that song.
Yeah. And I think that brings up a really important topic. Like I sort of touched on this at the beginning of the show, but there are songs now that have become so ubiquitous or universal
Yes.
that and also so nostalgic to people that have been worshiping since the 90s.
Yeah.
That they're sort of taking the place of hymns in a lot of these houses of worship, because you have songs like Goodness of God, you have songs like Great Are You, Lord, you have songs like In Christ Alone, which is written in such a way that I would guess that there's a lot of people that don't know it's not a hymn.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And maybe same thing for 10,000 Reasons.
Same thing. Yeah. 10,000 Reasons is definitely considered like a hymn type song, and I think that's the modern hymns, the movement thing. But those are great. One thing we glossed over in the 2000s, but it was still around in the 2010s. Was kind of this everybody gets a kick drum style of music too, which we've just agreed to kind of forget. But that was a big deal. And the Mumford style thing, Wren Collective came over and was like, you get a floor tom, and you get a snare drum, and you get. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't think that those things will stand the test. But it's interesting because so I'm looking at a note here. 2015, "Oh Come to the Altar," came out, and it was by Elevation.
Yeah,
and none of us had a problem with Elevation.
No.
When that song came out.
Because we're like, finally, something to play during communion.
Right.
There was this absolute dearth of communion songs. Like, there was nothing. There's all this stuff about, Jesus' sacrifice that you could play at communion. But something that's specifically about that moment. Yeah. And I don't even know that it was really written for that. But
no, but it does. It is suitable. I think it is a great song. We're like, oh, it's Come to the Altar, like we are.
Yeah, like we're doing right now. Unless, of course, we're passing the plate, then we'll play something else.
And then we'll play I Surrender All.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But Build My Life was another one that came out in
Yeah.
the mid 2010s. That was great. I think there are
Living Hope.
Living Hope. That's another one of those hymns.
Yeah, you
know,
got to
another
do
one
that
of those
one on
hymn
Easter.
songs.
Like,
Yeah, well, in Christ Alone, Living Hope, these songs that tell the entirety of the gospel
yeah.
inside of one song, I think are so great.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're starting and ending the conversation. I feel like What a Beautiful Name is similar in that vein. Like, Oh, Praise the Name is
Yeah.
another great one. We kind of got in the 2010s. We started getting back into a little more of the deeper side of things.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this is inspired by Psalm 150 and we just repeated, let everything that has breath, let everything that has breath, let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Like we started being like, no, this is good. And now we've gotten so far to, anyway, we're not talking about now. So in the 2010s, yeah. I think that was a good thing in
Yeah.
the 2010s. And we're always going to have this weird nostalgic bit that we latch onto, like the goodness of God now is gratitude, right? Like,
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
so we'll have gratitude. Gratitude will stay.
Yeah.
That'll stay. And it's interesting because songs like I think This Is Our God will stay, but Lion and the Lamb won't.
No.
And it's like
It's
why?
kind of already gone.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. It was huge.
Yeah.
We were all doing it every weekend. And then it was like, wait, he's the lion and the lamb? We're like, yeah, that, of course, that's the point, right? But so many of us, especially if we were in a church that was very focused on reaching those who were far from the church, had a problem with lion and the lamb, because of the text was so biblical, but not interpreted for modern age, which is, again, not a bad thing. But like I always liked Lion and the Lamb. I just didn't like opening with it, because I didn't think that if you had a guest in church and they came in and the first thing they heard was he's coming on the clouds, kings and kingdoms will bow down. I thought, well, we need to unpack that for
Yeah.
people who don't get it, because he is the Lion and the Lamb. But what does that mean?
Yeah.
And I always looked at it like, well, like, let's do it, but we don't have to like come out of the gate swinging with it,
It's a little bit of like why there are so many more sermons done on the Gospels than on Revelation. It's
Right.
like writing a song with apocalyptic language.
Yeah.
And
Which might make for a great song.
yeah, and it's beautiful, but in terms of timelessness, I don't know. It doesn't work as well for people 20 years later.
Yeah, we're going to get hit for that. People are going to be like, what's wrong with Revelation?
Nothing.
Again, it's what lens we're looking through,
Yeah.
right? Like,
We're doing congregational worship. We're not doing like we're not writing a hymnal here that is supposed to be used for the next 100 years. Like we're not making any sort of theological commentary with what,
Right.
We're just talking about what we've seen work, what's still around.
yeah. And like, I was always baffled at how Oceans worked, because I
Really?
don't like it.
Oh,
I dislike it. I don't understand why it caught on. The metaphor, the poetry piece of it is lost on me. Like, I know it's theology, but I'm like, if I went to a church for the first time and they were singing this song, I'd be like, it'd be a little weird. Like, I don't get it. He called me out across he what now? Like the great unknown. I don't know. It's just.
but to be fair, you don't like any worship songs.
To be fair, I don't like anything. So,
So really, I mean, if we do like kind of a recap, the songs that have carried over are songs that are maybe hymn-like, maybe encapsulate the gospel within one song. They have elements of serious songwriting craft to them.
Right.
They know and use well the function of a bridge.
and they're singable.
They're singable in terms of range and the melodic movement.
Yeah.
Things like that. In terms of practices, we have stuff like guitar-led worship is still very much a thing. That I don't think that's going anywhere necessarily. It could be acoustic, it could be electric, but I think the guitar is here to stay for a long time.
Yeah. Yes. We aren't talking about today.
Yeah. Well,
But today, the era of everybody gets a kick drum is everybody gets a microphone.
yeah.
And there's 18 singers standing in a circle yelling at each other on stage. Because, see, we're showing that we're like everybody. We're exemplifying the everybodyness.
So maybe don't build the stage 4.5 feet off the ground, but,
Is it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, do we need this? There's 4 parts. Because it's okay. All inclusive. Okay.
Yeah.
It's harder to tell somebody they can't join your team when you have 8 singers.
Yeah.
I tell you that right now. You'd be
Well-
like, no, you're not good enough. You're 9th best. I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to put a bow on this thing.
Sorry.
here.
Go ahead. Yes. Wrap it up.
In terms of things that have died off, the hymnals, the chorus books, they're always going to have a place. But it seems that projection, whether it's through a projector or an LED wall or whatever, it seems that keeping people's heads up is here to stay.
Yeah.
I don't see the production value going down anytime soon. It seems like it still just keeps improving and improving, and
I hope it gets simpler.
yeah.
Like, the best concert I ever went to for lighting and sound was like a 4-piece band, and all the lights were just white lights.
Yeah.
And there were haze, and the beam architecture was gorgeous, and it was just so simple. And I'm like, could we just get something simple?
Yeah.
Like, we don't need all these surfaces and all this stuff and environmental projection and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think we're in an era of, like, simpler's better, Although I used to love the bistro lighting, like the little hanging lights like you put outside or at a restaurant, and now I'm seeing them. I've had it.
Yeah.
Enough with the bistro lights. It's too much. Now it just feels like, oh, you want to make it cool? Let's put up bistro lights. Or what else do they call them? They called them festoon lighting.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it was cool. It was really great. And then everybody overdid it. And Amazon was like, you want festoon lighting? We'll have it to you by tonight. And
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I want to close with a question for you.
False.
There you go. If there was one thing that we should recover that we've lost from the 90s, from the 2000s, and from the 2010s, what would those, well, I guess 3 things. So what would those 3 things be? So let's start with the 90s. What would we recover?
Singability.
Yeah. Corporate.
Worship. If the song's not corporate, it's done. It's never sees it. It's out.
Okay.
If we're talking just specifically for this function.
Yeah. That's what we've lost that you wish came back.
Singability.
Everyone can sing it. What about from the 2000s?
Good songs.
Songwriting. Okay. And
Better songwriting.
Yeah. And from the 2010s, I'm guessing your answer is nothing.
From the 2010s, I would say the sense of anticipation of new songs. Because now I feel like we're like, yeah, big deal.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? There's another new song. There's a new song a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's too much. We're drinking from a fire hose out here.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, you haven't done this song, you haven't done this song. And I'm like, we need to turn the noise off. So at least in the 2010s, it was like, what's Hillsong's next record going to be?
Budget your output. That type, like, you could buy $8 guitars that are each $100, or you could buy one $800 guitar.
Yeah.
And there's a massive difference between those two. The same way you could write 8 songs and put them out every couple months.
Yeah.
And they're fine. Or you could work for a whole year on one song, and then you put out Goodness of God and you change people's lives around the world.
Yeah. I remember anticipating the next drop of Paul Baloche record, or the next drop of, man, Chris Tomlin's coming out with a Christmas album.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. there's no patience anymore, and there's no waiting. And we're just like, yeah, let's do it. And now it's like everybody can write a song because the bar is set so low that we're like, well, I wrote this one.
Yeah.
And it's like, please don't. Just please stop doing that. We don't need more songs to choose from. So I don't know. Maybe that's harsh, you know, and I get that. And I don't apologize for it because I'm rude. But I think, you know, if we could get to a place where we have some anticipation again.
Yeah.
I tell churches all the time, like, when's the last time you were really excited that it was Sunday? And the answer has never been last Sunday.
Yeah.
Ever. I've asked, I don't know, conservatively 30 churches. None of them have said last Sunday. And I did ask this one guy, and he said, every Sunday I'm excited. And I'm like, you're a liar. And he was lying. At least that's what his staff told me. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. He was just saying that because he knows he was supposed to. Oh, right.
All right, y'all. Well, we're going to wrap up here. It seems like the question is not whether worship should sound old or new. The question is whether the church can actually sing the song, whether the writing tells the truth about God, and whether it forms people over time. Thank you all for listening to the Countryman Sessions today. Make sure you go follow us on all the social media platforms, the Countryman Sessions. Go subscribe on Patreon. We're actually in some serious legal hot water right now. We need 10 new Patreon subscribers minimum within the next 30 days, or else one David Madden is going to own the show, probably.
Yeah, it'll be the Madden Sessions.
Yeah, which
and then you'll all be bored.
Doesn't really have a ring to it like the Countryman Sessions.
I'll be talking about yogurt sacks and rammed earth.
So go to patreon.com/the Countryman Sessions and subscribe today for as little as $1.
What? That's crazy.
As little as $1.
Oh, we're gonna change it. You better get on it now, 'cause I'm gonna change it.
All right, bye, y'all.
Choo, choo, choo.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back once again. Lou Lowenstein here representing the Countryman Sessions. That's the Countryman Sessions at patreon.com. In the words, first ever reverse telethon. I'm struggling here. We're not even to a quarter up this thermometer diagram, and I'm running out of numbers. So here's one I just pulled out of the white pages, and let's see. Let's see what comes up. Hello?
Thank you for calling. Hello? Is this Tim?
No, this is Lou Lowenstein. Who am I?
You're not Tim?
I am not Tim. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Oh, hello. This is Mike.
Yeah, whatever.
No, that is my name. Thank you for calling, Mike. I am reaching out to you today to talk to you about your cable service.
I called you.
No, I have called you today,
No,
sir.
I called you.
Sir, please calm down.
I
Please.
always calm.
You need to calm down.
I'm a picture of calm.
We cannot get your
Go
internet
buy yourself a
restored
dictionary
if you
and look
don't
up-
calm down, sir.
How do you think I'm calling you with no internets?
I am glad that you picked up the phone today when I have called, because I am making calls today on the behalf of AT&T, right here from Chicago.
What?
I am in Chicago.
You don't... I called you.
Excuse me,
I'm
Mr.
representing the
Lowenstein,
Countryman
Please
Sessions.
be calm,
Steve.
and we need you to pay your bill
It's
if we are going to
Lowen-
reconnect your service.
Just... fine, whatever. Give me your
Can
spiel.
you please hold for 10 minutes?
No.
I'm going to put you on hold. This is a short hold. Thank you for calling.
Why don't you hold this?
Choo, choo, choose countryman. Choo, choo, choosing for your country. Man and woman, got a question? Just asking, long as you don't sass him. Choo, choo, choo.